At the end of 2019, Gene and Marcus Baylor, collectively known as the Baylor Project, had great expectations. They had concerts scheduled and plans to record a follow-up to their 2017 album, The Journey. However, like many of us, all of their plans came to a standstill upon the onset of the coronavirus pandemic. In 2020, an off-the-cuff tune, which began as a cautionary tale, turned into a viral sensation that earned them their third Grammy nomination. I spoke with the Baylor Project about the unexpected success of their song, as well as other career milestones they fortunately received in the midst of a pandemic.
Can you tell us about how the end of 2019 was for you? Like, what were you thinking as you had tour dates scheduled and everything? Can you kind of reflect back to that time of when things started to change, when you saw the tour dates start to drop? You know, we thought this was going to be 3 weeks. Can you kind of like go back to that time, how you felt?
Yes, I think weren't we supposed to be on a cruise at the top of 2020 that got canceled, I believe, or maybe 2021. We were booked. We were really expecting for our bookings and live performances to continue to increase throughout 2020.
Right.
And we were supposed to we wanted to release Generations in 2020, but it just was not ready. So we just had to push it back. But I remember, the top of the year kind of like, okay, well, I think it was March, and we were like, what is this? And like you said, things started dropping off, couldn't get things on. We just had to just sit back and wait and let it breathe.
Our wedding anniversary is April 6th. And so we were thinking, man, we need to put out a single for the new album. We was trying to figure that out, but we were still, recording and figuring things out. And so what ended up happening is, while we were working on Generations, the pandemic hit. And we're literally writing for Generations. And it was, for us, in terms of just having some downtime and quiet time, it was actually perfect for us. But at the same time, those gigs got canceled, which was like, oh man, being able to have the finances and the resources.
One evening in March 2020, Marcus was watching the popular drama Ozark when he noticed some non-quarantine friendly behavior.
So I'm looking at the TV and I'm seeing people all in the swimming pool partying and having a good time during this time. And I'm like, oh my God, this pandemic has hit. And these people are down here partying for spring break. No mask, no nothing, everybody in the pool together. And I'm probably screaming at the television, maybe talking to a family member. And people need to sit down. What in the world is happening? They need to sit down, like, go home, relax. And so Jean is cooking in the kitchen, and she comes out the kitchen and she says, babe, let's go live on, social media on Facebook. I said, well, you know what? If I set up Facebook, we might as well set up Instagram too. So we have a husband and wife arguing moment. We don't need to do all that.
He be doing the most.
And so
Like,
next
all
thing,
the time.
next thing you know, we finally get it all, set up. And I'm thinking she's about to talk about the new album, because I think we, discussed Generations or our new song or something. No, she started singing this crazy song out of nowhere. Why don't you just sit on down? Just freestyling. And one of our mutual buddies, mutual colleagues, musician friends, vocalists, was on Instagram, said, hey, you need to make this a challenge. And we're like, a challenge? Like, we never did this before. What you mean? So we make the song a challenge. While we're working on Generations, the challenge totally takes off. And a buddy of ours that tours with Gregory Porter ended up putting some music underneath a whole thing. And Gene and I, we listened back to it. We said, okay, his name is Andre J. Pavek, and he was quarantined in Czech Republic.
Wow.
And so I'm listening. I'm like, okay, Gene, there's possibly something there. But I'm like, oh my God, but we're working on this album. And we just said, you know what, let's just put the song out. We put the song out. First of all, the whole challenge went viral. And everybody submitted their own videos. And then the song got released. And it just started, we did what we call a quarantine photo shoot, held up our iPhones. We just did a video bootleg holding the phone, and next thing you know, the fast forward, the Grammy nominations come out, and they say nominated. So you talk about timing.
You're going to your third Grammy nomination, which
Yeah.
is incredible. That is just
Yeah.
phenomenal.
God
That's
is,
absolutely phenomenal.
yeah. I mean,
It's been a blessed
I mean,
journey.
yeah,
really is.
it's yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
because we argued even about that. It sounds like we argue a
We
lot.
argue that.
We really don't argue that much, but when we do, because we argue over this stuff, because I was like, babe, I'm tired. We just want, can we please just drop the album in 2022?
Yeah,
Mhm.
2022.
Remember I
That's
said
You
that?
did say that.
I was trying to do 2022.
God, but I want to do
Mhm.
2020. So now
then-
of us got what we wanted.
And then you said, okay, we compromised and decided to drop it Juneteenth weekend. So it all came
Wow.
together.
Their critically acclaimed album Generations not only placed high on year-end jazz charts, it earned them their 4th Grammy nomination. Career milestones to follow included signing their independent label Be a Light to a distribution deal with Motown Gospel, and earning an NAACP Image Award nomination for Outstanding Jazz Album Vocal.
Image Awards, I think, is particularly honorable because they honor, it's not just about, who's famous, who's this, but they honor people who are doing things in the community, people that are really making positive impacts, people that we may not know about, like, just in addition to the arts and entertainment world, but other areas of life like teachers and different things like that. So it kind of puts you in that space where, wow, okay, and at any time you're being honored by your community in that way and nominated, it's just a certain feeling that you can't really replace.
What would your advice be to creatives during this time that just kind of feeling a little let down? Like, how do I keep going? Especially, for instance, they have a record that maybe they were coming out with, or had a tour that they were about to embark on, or certain things like that. How would you?
It's interesting because, as you mentioned at the beginning of the interview, we've had a lot of wonderful blessings in the past, few years, this year, 2020 and 21, 22. So it's been a good couple of years for us. At the same time, we felt some of that frustration because, we were like getting ready to, bust out with more shows and, more territories for touring, and it just didn't happen. So it's like you're trying to put your best efforts forward to build, but then it's like, we can't do anything about COVID. We just have to wait it out, Right. So just trying to get in a balanced headspace, to just be, whether you're home a lot or whether you're starting to move out more, just try to do whatever it is that you need to do as an individual to get in a balanced headspace so that you can create, that's one thing on the creative side.
I think the thing that keeps you going is understanding your purpose. And if it's your purpose, then I think not that you don't want to quit each day sometimes, when things get tough, but I think it just has to deal with your purpose and your calling. And I think, again, it's one of those things where you got to know when to take a break for mental health. But the main thing is back to being persistent and being consistent.
I'm Toya Haynes for PhillyCAM Voices.